Mulan is the newest live-action Disney remake of a classic cartoon. And if you don't know what Mulan's about, it's about a woman warrior who has to disguise herself as a man to fight in a war, because if she doesn't, her father will fight in that war, and she's old and sort of injured, and he'll most likely die in this war if she doesn't volunteer. But she can't reveal her identity as a woman, or she will bring dishonor to her family and most likely be killed. The original Mulan's a classic. There's a lot of things I don't remember from that movie, and I didn't watch it this week before I watched this movie. I thought about doing it, but I kind of wanted to stay away from the classic cartoon to see what I felt about this movie. I also remember in the production of this movie, they announced there's going to be no music and things are going to be different. They're going to try and make it a war epic, which I thought was a fascinating idea, considering I haven't been a fan of these live action remakes. I like The Jungle Book, but every other one I find okay. I think Beauty and the Beast is okay. I never saw Dumbo. I think Aladdin is meh, and I hated Lion King. I thought the live action Lion King was a disaster. So Disney's trying something different, and did it pay off? I'm just let you guys know now, I really did not like this movie. And you could say I'm maybe biased because I haven't liked the live action remakes. I know a lot of people have. My main issue with this movie is I feel like it doesn't have its own sort of identity. What I mean by that is, at least with those live action remakes that we've seen already, they know they're just being a cheap cash grab. They're just remaking the same exact movie. And I applaud Mulan for trying to be different. I do. I really applaud Mulan for trying to be different, not just being the same exact movie we've seen before. But this movie has the same plot, but they changed some elements to make the plot overall worse. And it feels like this movie has no heart because of that. Not like the original cartoon. And here they changed the villain. I think the villain in the original cartoon was a lot better. I'm not going to say much about the villain because I guess that's spoilers since it's different. But I didn't really like it. And they add new characters that aren't that interesting, and overall it makes this movie very uninteresting. Which is weird because, like I said, it's the same plot as the original cartoon, which is great. But for some reason here, it just doesn't work. Like I said before, there's no music in this movie. There's no musical numbers like in the other live-action remakes, which I thought was an interesting idea because sometimes those didn't really work in the live-action remakes. Here, it's fine. I just thought that at least the score would play these songs. Like, no one's singing, but you would hear the classic tunes as like an instrumental score. And that only happens with one song. I won't say which one, but you know which one it is if you're a big Mulan fan. And I thought that was extremely disappointing. There was a sequence where one song would fit so perfectly with it. I was waiting for it to come on, and it just never fucking happened. And I don't know what they were thinking there. They also said they're going to make this movie like a war epic, and I guess there's some sequences that are like that, but I feel like the emotion of war and the dread of war was more prevalent and worked better in the cartoon. Here, it was just sort of a way to put in these big set pieces, and for the most part, the action is fine. Actually, I shouldn't say for the most part. Sometimes it's fine. The hand-to-hand combat and the sword fighting, I think, looks great. But there are a lot of sequences that just didn't work for me. Oh, and the CGI is fucking awful. There are scenes I was laughing out loud. It looks so bad. The budget was $200 million. $200 million. And it looks like that? How is that fucking possible? How? There's also some weird camera angles and some sets I swear were just reused. And it's totally noticeable. Like, there was one sequence where it happened in the beginning of the movie, and then there was like a montage later in the movie. I'm like, wait a second, that's like the same exact spot. So is that like a flash forward or a flashback? And then they said they're like, oh, we taken this new city. I'm like, oh, so that was a new place, but it looked exactly the same, like same exact set, same exact costumes. I've been shitting on this movie. Let me think of something I liked. I already said the hand-to-hand combat. Maybe the colors, like it looks colorful sometimes. Even though the movie looks colorful, overall it doesn't look very good because, like I said, the CGI is awful, and especially when they try and incorporate it with their action sequences, it looks terrible. It's laughably bad. My final point I want to make about this movie is I really don't know who's going to like this movie. People who don't like the live action movies are probably not going to like this movie. They're probably going to be annoyed by it. But people who love the live action movies probably won't like this movie because it's so different from the original. And listen, if you like these live action movies and you watch Mulan, you end up liking it, good for you. Like, I'm not trying to call you dumb or anything, or your opinion doesn't matter. Just me personally, I just don't know what Disney's going for anymore. I understand they tried something different, but at the end of the day, when you just use the same exact plot but change elements to it just to make the plot worse, it's like, what's the point besides making money? What's the point of these live action remakes if you're not going to do something worth making the movie for? In the end, though, I think Mulan was a big disappointment, considering I was actually excited for it because they're going to try something different. Unfortunately, trying something different made the movie worse. And honestly, if this was just a remake of the original cartoon, the movie probably would have been a little bit better. The CGI is laughably bad. There's really no heart to this movie. And I think fans of the live action remakes probably won't like this because it's so different. And then people who don't like the live action remakes probably won't like this because it's just another live action remake. And this time it's just a boring movie with not much heart. I'm going to give Mulan a 4. I can't believe I spent fucking $30 for this. And by the way, don't buy this movie. Just don't. Unless you're a die-hard Mulan fan or you just love these live action remakes, I get it. Fine, buy the movie for $30. But if you're sort of like, whatever, don't buy it. Just wait till December. Just a waste of money, and I feel like I'm just a slave to Disney at this point. The things I do for you guys. So the live action Mulan, it came out this week, and let me know what you guys think of it. Thank you for watching, and click here to see more of Dave's Takes.